Normally, when I talk about a topic that involves video games or internet culture or sometimes YouTuber drama, I'll make it into an indefensible video. You know, with that cool opening that everyone seems to like that goes do-da-da-do-do-do-do-do. You know that one? Where everyone in the comments says, OMG, Dev brought it back, whenever I make a new video in that series? Well, the YongYea story does fit that bill. It's about video games and internet culture and YouTuber drama. But I don't actually think there's enough meat on this bone for a deep dive. There might not even be enough here for a full 10 minutes, but I'll give it a try. Plus, the indefensible intro is constantly copyright struck. So hey, support the channel. YongYea is a YouTuber who got his start back in January of 2012. Looking at his backlog, he did all sorts of things to try and get ahead in the YouTuber game back then. Let's plays, unboxings, reporting on gaming news. He eventually settled into making short videos, generally only a few minutes long, talking about minute updates a few select games were receiving, what the next Fallout 4 patch looked like, what new character was recently announced for Smash Bros. On Wii U, that sort of thing. Gaming news is what he eventually settled into, talking about trade shows or award shows, talking about upcoming games, interviews with journalists or people in the industry. I never really watched him, but from what I checked out for this video, it was all good stuff. High quality for that era of YouTube, still holds up today, and is probably why he has over 1 million subs now. I'll also just quickly say, whenever I do a video like this, looking into a YouTuber's past always feels like unearthing a time capsule, you know? For example, one of the oldest videos still surviving on the channel is his Let's Play of the Mass Effect 3 demo, from before Mass Effect 3 was released. That game's considered retro nowadays, but at the time the video was released, it was cutting edge, and the video's full of decade-old comments of people clamoring about the game. Also, seeing young YongYea I guess, do old-style YouTube skits was just surreal to me. In modern times, YongYea's channel has more or less stuck to the gaming news thing, though generally not as granular as discussing patch notes or updates for specific games. That YouTube trend was done best by Total Biscuit, and it basically died with him. There still exist channels who do update videos or meta conversations about specific games, like Warcraft channels, or Hollow Knight channels, or Zelda channels, or Overwatch channels, but the reason that they're channels dedicated to specific game franchises is because we've basically figured out at this point in the YouTube game that interest in the minutiae of a specific patch for a specific game is a niche market, not something that really sits well on a general gaming news channel, unless something really crazy is going down anyway. But with this general gaming news thing, YongYea's done pretty well for himself. And because this is a YouTuber we're talking about here, it was inevitable that he would eventually put his foot in his mouth, and then shoot it. RGG Studio announced that YongYea was cast as the English voice actor of Kiryu from the Yakuza series of games. Here's YongYea's own announcement. 4 years ago, I moved to LA with dreams of one day playing a AAA game protagonist, but I never imagined I'd land such a legendary role. It's the greatest honor of my life to announce I'm the English voice of the Dragon of Dojima, Kazuma Kiryu, in Yakuza Gaiden and 8. Now, I'm only lukewarm on Yakuza, Yumi likes them more than me, but I do understand that Kiryu is the heart and soul of the series. He's a beloved character in a beloved series that has spawned its share of high-quality memes. But right from the get-go, there's a few red flags here. Firstly, that whole 4 years ago I moved to LA thing. I've said it a few times on this channel, and I'll say it again. If your favorite YouTuber or streamer decides the next big step in their career is to fly out to LA and start making connections in the influencer space, pack it up. It's time to find a new favorite because they're done, son. They might keep making money and growing, but the quality of their content is going to rapidly decline as they start bending to the will of the connections they've made and begin injecting the political views of the environment that they're in. LA is a cesspool of insufferably smug progressive elitism, and from what I've heard from longtime viewers, YongYea was no exception to the rule. He slid down this slope just like everyone else. Secondly, there's the quality of his voice. YongYea did a line reading at Anime Expo 2023. Here's the clip.
Now, and you can go home in one piece. But if you don't, just remember, going down this path was your choice. Now, if you want to die, step up!
The fan backlash to this centered on how YongYea's Kiryu voice sounds too much like his own. And considering that in the game that YongYea is playing Kiryu, he's middle-aged at this point, yeah, I agree. He's too young sounding to be the voice of a gray-haired, retired Kiryu. YongYea's response to this was to post the official clip of the line from the video game on his Twitter, as a way of saying, no, it's good guys, just listen to how it sounds without the echoes of the panel. But that received so much backlash he deleted the tweet. Here's the deleted video.
Turn around now, and you can go home in one piece. But if you don't, just remember, going down this path was your choice. Now, if you want to die,
Step up!
Yeah, this still ain't great. Somebody made a fan edit on YouTube, splicing in the Anime Expo audio over top the in-game cutscene.
Turn around now, and you can go home in one piece. But if you don't, just remember, going down this path was your choice.
Hey, at least it's not as bad as the actual Gollum game, buddy. Yang Ye's reply to the viral clip was to complain that it was misinformation, that it was poorly recorded audio from an off-the-cuff panel, and the script was unlocalized, and it was all superimposed into the Japanese trailer. Many people even think it's official because of the video, but they hadn't even recorded that scene yet. You know, I thought that previous deleted clip was the official recording. Maybe he just did it off the cuff for comparison's sake. Everyone had their doubts about this, but the game was still months off. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. And then when the game's demo dropped, everyone's doubts were confirmed. This clip went viral with the attached tweet. I just heard actual English Kiryu voice, and Yang Ye as a casting choice fucking sucked. I'm so sorry.
Ah, shit, don't tell me. Kiri-san, I don't have a bald patch, do I? I think the bullet ripped a chunk out. Does it look bad?
Can't say I see any difference. The tips are a bit burned, but your hair looks like it's seen more bullets than one.
Here's Yang Ye's official clip, tagged with, did a side-by-side with the Japanese for those wanting to hear the difference. This is some of the first stuff we recorded a year ago. The performance got more refined as we went further along. I'm excited for y'all to experience the full games.
もう3分待ってくれたら素直に感謝できたんだよな。
You know, had you just waited 3 minutes, I'd have been a little more grateful. Yeah.
町の情報通何人かに接触して渡りはつけた。
I made contact with a good number of people, just waiting for them to get back to me.
This just isn't working, man. No offense to Yang Ye himself, this isn't a personal attack on the man, but he was not the right choice for this character. There's a couple of things at play here. Firstly is that the previous English voice actor for Kiryu, Daryl Kurilo, seems to be a complete cuck. His reaction to Yang Ye swiping his job out from under him is, I am very happy and honored to have played a wonderfully written and iconic character as Kiryu. I am just as happy to discover that the role will be portrayed by a dedicated actor who more closely matches Kiryu's culture. I approve. I gotta do a deep dive into this topic at some point, but there is this weird woke racial segregationist movement happening in voice acting right now, where progressives in that space are demanding that characters of a specific race can only be voice acted by actors who share that race, so that they can embody the racial experiences or some other racist KKK-ass nonsense. Secondly is the more general rule of, don't hire YouTubers to be in your fucking video games. It never ends well. I know, I get it. You want to connect with the kids and get some of their money by attaching that brand to your product, but it almost always makes it shittier. You can count the number of career transitions into more traditional entertainment YouTubers have made that have been successful and non-cringe on like one hand. We all know it's true. You're sitting there, playing a video game, watching a show, and then suddenly you hear Egoraptor's voice or Markiplier or something, and you just want to shut it off. And it's not even necessarily because they're bad voice actors, though they usually are. It's that even if they're good, they're still bringing with them that LA funk, that progressive elitist clique that you and I will never be a part of, full of people who look down on us and hate the fact that they still need us to buy their slop. Anyway, after the repeated negative feedback, Yang Ye began to mass block people on Twitter and hide replies. I understand, man. You're not going to accept any criticism. You're going to stay the course and drive this fucking thing right into the ground. But you've got to understand, nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to hear your auto-tuned voice sing these songs.
We're breaking the law, breaking the world together, throwing out all tenderness.
It got so bad that Yang Ye began to block his supporters who weren't perfectly marching in lockstep with him. Like Fratanga here, who said that Yang Ye was a bad Kiryu, but he shouldn't be cancel cultured by people bringing up unrelated slur usage from years ago as an avenue of attack. And he got his ass blocked for that. Yang Ye's going full scorched earth, man. This is all very hypocritical, because while he is blocking people who are just haters, who are saying stuff like you suck or whatever, he's also blocking people who are making the reasonable, obvious criticism that Yang Ye is just not a good fit for the character of Kiryu. A criticism that Yang Ye himself made against Chris Pratt voicing Mario in the Mario Brothers movie.
Now, the one thing that everyone's talking about is, of course, Mario's voice. This is the main character. This is an iconic character. There's a very specific voice and type of performance that we we associate with Mario's character. And this trailer finally gave us a glimpse of what Mario will sound like, who is played by Chris Pratt. And I'll be honest, when I first watched this trailer, I was kind of disappointed. I was a little taken aback by how much Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt, doing like a bit of a Brooklyn accent. This still shot right here is a pretty appropriate representation of my reaction, that first knee-jerk impression.
This article dropped on The Gamer. Kazuma Kiryu's English voice was always going to be impossible, making the point that Kiryu's voice and character and the story of the games is quintessentially Japanese. Translating them into English has never really worked, and that it's not actually a problem with Youngye. Whoever they chose was basically doomed to failure from the get-go. There's probably something to this view. I don't know anybody who plays Yakuza with any language other than Japanese. It certainly feels more authentic. But before Youngye took over, the English dub of Yakuza was only considered superfluous by the fans, not a direct sabotaging of the game. It's true that no English voice actor can ever truly be Kiryu, but there are absolutely people who come way closer than Youngye, and his inclusion really just feels like capitalizing on YouTuber clout. Moreover, Youngye actually has a history of doing this sort of thing whenever controversy rears its ugly head. He has a history of deleting videos and deleting comments in order to try and control public opinion of him. A lot of these other stories never went viral, and they're lost to time because he was just so good at scrubbing the online narrative, but you can still find crumbs here and there. This isn't how you do it, man. I mean, who am I to say that, I guess? I've got 140,000 subs and he's got over 1 million. But if you want to remain a good person, this isn't how you do it. I've had takes that people didn't like. I've put out videos that people hated. I've received more than my fair share of flack on the internet. I've had my mentions full of thousands of replies, people telling me to kill myself or delete my channel, or insulting my weight, or insulting my girlfriend, or whatever else, multiple times now. And I've never gone on a mass block delete spree. I've never taken down videos or tweets for that. You just carry on and hope people will come around, and if they don't, you try again next time. I think this is an Ego Raptor style story. Despite all of Youngye's YouTube success, he always wanted to be an actor or a voice actor, and he viewed YouTube as secondary, as the job he settled on doing rather than the job he wanted. And now that his YouTube channel is moving him into actor spaces, that's become his personality. That's why he says, "I earned Kiryu." That's why his Twitter name is now the English voice of Kiryu, and why he's posting videos on his channel saying Kiryu auditions for Mario, or Kiryu's voice actor reacts to trailers, or I met Kiryu, which is just his fans meeting him. Kiryu is Youngye's crown jewel. It doesn't matter how much he ruins the character and destroys the franchise. It's a stepping stone in his career, and that's what he cares about. He can now put on his resume that he was the lead role in the multi-million copy selling Yakuza series. This isn't going to stop, by the way. Youngye just announced that he's going to be voicing a character in the Persona 3 remake, and he's probably going to rape that project into the ground too. Shitty nepotistic LA YouTubers are going to keep providing dog-shit voice performances in these games as long as they're profitable. Stay informed and vote with your wallet, guys.
Unlike the great value offered by the sponsor of today's video, Soylent, a company focused on enhancing your nutrition through delicious and conveniently packaged drinks,